Doesn't matter what, quote, race you are. Sperm counts are down by 85%. And then they've got all these articles, one's on screen. Beyond fluoride, pharmaceuticals in the drinking water and public health, Jacob M. Apple. And he quotes the New York Times and others in the last week saying we all need to have lithium in our water. And he goes on to say he looks forward to giving up his rights to make everyone happy. I mean, these people are hardcore cult. I mean, they're taking over.
Alex, Alex, if you don't think this government and the corporations that control them want us to be drugged up sheeple, if you don't think the government and the corporations, which are the same thing now, if you think they want us to think, you're wrong. I mean, watch the CBS News tonight. Watch the NBC News. All it is, do you feel nervous in a crowd? Well, yeah. Does your leg ever get restless? Well, yeah. You need a drug for everything now. Everything will be. Do you
have to urinate every couple hours? Well, you need a drug. By the way, this drug may give you a heart attack.
You need a pill for everything, and just stay nice and calm. And I wondered why aren't people getting upset at all the injustice as we see our country systematically destroyed? Hey, I had to laugh. This is off subject. Did you see John McCain has come out against the stimulus and the TARP? Do you remember this is the same guy that had to quit his campaign so that he could ensure that TARP went through, and now he's against it? Well,
same thing with Obama. He was the key guy that got the Congressional Black Caucus to push for it, and then he's acted like he's been against it.
I mean, it's an outrage, and it's nonsense, and...
see, being outraged is a mental illness. They say that in all these reports, and now they say they're going to test these mind-altering vaccines on the troops, Mancow.
A mosque at Ground Zero, how dare you ask a question? A pedophile is your Boy Scout counselor? How dare you ask a question? How dare you even think that? Let me tell you something, Alex. Remember this. And I think it's a liberal thing. You think it's big government, but it's crept into our society, and it's the phrase "who's to say." Who's to say a mosque at Ground Zero is wrong? Who's to say that their religion's better than our religion? Who's to say that their country's better than us? Who's to say that a baby aborted at 8 or 9 months is wrong? Who's to say? So they never, that's Obama, and that's his followers. They never can say what's right and what's wrong. You have the guts here on the radio, at least ask the questions and say things are wrong when you see them. It's just amazing, this moral equivalency.
They say you're not allowed. They say you're not allowed to have an opinion, but then they're going to have their opinion, and they're going to force drug you if they want.
Yeah. Mel Gibson gets mad at his Russian gold-digging baby's mama, and he should be destroyed. But Roman Polanski, we now know of 3 children that he raped, prison style. I've never done it that way. It's the dirtiest way you could rape somebody. He drugged children and raped them, and he should be forgiven. He's a great artist. I mean, look, guys, the end times here. Wrong is right, right is wrong. If we don't right things, America's going to look like Detroit in 25 years and Haiti in 50 years. We better wake up, and men better drink some water that doesn't have drugs in it, grow a set, and stand up for what is right.
Mancow, we really appreciate you joining us, and I want to get you up for a full hour in the near future. And
Anytime, Alex.
You bet. Give us your website.
It's mancow.com. God bless you, Alex.
Take care, Mancow. All right, we're going to come back with PhD Michael Coffman to talk about rescuing a broken America. But I'll also talk to him about the drugging of the water supply and your phone calls and a lot more straight ahead in the third hour. We'll be right back. Hello, friends. This is Alex Jones. You've heard me talk about Cal-Ben 5-star soaps for years. This is an American-made product of the highest quality and compares to nothing you will find in stores. You can buy factory direct, shipped via UPS right to your door. Check them out on the web at 5starsoap.com or call 800-340-7091. Take my word for it. Once you've used Pure Soap, you won't buy anything else. Since 1947, Cal-Ben Soap Company has been showing consumers that soap can be tough on dirt and gentle on the environment. Buy American and stay clean, as well as support InfoWars. Visit 5starsoap.com today or call 1-800-340-7091. Well, Marty, what do you have to say?
As founder and owner for over 63 years, satisfaction is guaranteed or double your dirt back. Call us at 1-800-340-7091 for a free catalog or visit our website, 5starsoap.com. Thank you.
Listen up, friends. This is Alex Jones with key information. The mainstream media is now admitting that we're going into a depression. Don't be dependent on the government for you and your family. You need to get your own supply of high-quality storable foods from efoodsdirect.com. They're the best company out there, the longest continually operating, with a ton of great food to choose from. It's all fresh, made on a monthly basis, not some old cruddy food they're selling you like some of the other guys. Try their new evacuation pack, a 2-week supply of delicious, easy-to-fix food. It comes with all the equipment you need to prepare it. With open talk of a strike on Iran in the next 3 months, the crisis in the Gulf, and possible evacuations, get yourself and your family ready today. The place to go is efoodsdirect.com. Go to their website online right now, efoodsdirect.com/Alex, or call 800-409-5633. Again, on the web, efoodsdirect.com/Alex, or give them a call at 800-409-5633. Alex Jones here with urgent information concerning trendsresearch.com. The Trends Journal distills the voluminous ongoing research of the Trends Research Institute into a concise, readily accessible form. By tracking 300 separately defined domestic and international trends, the Trends Journal establishes the connections that others fail to see or misinterpret. Gerald Salente's Trends Journal allows you to anticipate change, recognize the implications, and take protective strategies. Individual readers from every walk of life can put the Trends Journal Trends Forecast and Trends Analysis to practical use. Extra information to keep you well informed throughout the year. When any current event of major social, economic, or political significance occurs, Trends Journal notifies its subscribers of their implications. When you subscribe to the Trends Journal, you'll also receive Trends Alerts. Visit trendsresearch.com today. That's trendsresearch.com. Subscribe to the Trends Journal. This information is too important to wait.
The Genesis Communications Radio Network proudly presents The Alex Jones Show, because there's a war on for your mind.
Well, he's a big part of our film Endgame, Blueprint for Global Enslavement. I think it's the most important film I've made, close to 3 hours long. And on the expanded extras, he reads from major university studies how they were openly saying that they were drugging and were going to drug the population by the year 2000 to make us a servile population. Now the Huffington Post, the New York Times, BBC are saying the Japanese, the U.S. government, and others, the national centers at the federal government. Let me just read you the quote here from the U.S. National Institutes of Health, are looking at vaccines that will, quote, change our brain chemistry with a live herpes virus. This is just one of hundreds of vaccines that do this, that, quote, cure drug use. Other vaccines do that by attacking the receptor sites. Those receptors, those drugs are mimicking normal endorphins. You're meant to get angry at corruption. You're meant to get outraged. You're meant to be stressed. You know, if your child's dying of cancer. They don't want you to be able to respond. And EcoScience talks about drugging the water to sterilize you. Now, in just the last hour, a big report from Wired magazine, The Frontal Cortex by John Lear, who's a Rhodes Scholar, that's set up to create world government. He comes out and says, I'm a liar. And he says, well, yes, my earlier article, was quoted as saying it'll make you calmer and make society happier is what the scientist says with this one vaccine, one of many I mentioned. But I won't show you the video Alex created about this called Brain-Eating Vaccines. No, but most of the people in the comment section are attacking him and see through him. But this is so incredible. So incredible they've gone from denying that they're doing this to our water to now saying it's for our own good and they want to give us vaccines that do this. So I want to go to Michael Coffman, Ph.D. He is a published ecologist. He's advised the federal and state governments. He's the guy that shot down one of the big UN takeovers in the 90s with the maps he put together from government documents of how over half the country will be off limits to the population. It's all covered in Endgame, Blueprint for Global Enslavement. He's produced several films exposing man-made global warming as a hoax 4 or 5 years ago when you still got attacked for doing it. And in the last 2 years, he's released a new one. They're all available at Infowars.com. And his new book, Rescuing a Broken America, Why America is Deeply Divided. We'll talk about this some, too, with him. But he's spoken about this covert drugging that's in the government documents, but now it's out in the open. Why do you think it's out in the open now?
Well, so many of the things that the cartel had was planning for us 20, 30 years ago in secret is now basically being discussed because I think they think it's too late for us to do anything about it. And we are so dumbed down in our educational system for the last several generations that most people just say, ho-hum, it's business as usual, and go on their way. I think that, in fact, if I remember right, the quote that I used out of one of these government documents basically said that. They were going to be able to manipulate us with these kinds of drugs and so forth to the point where we'll be very docile and we won't even be able to respond when something irate does come up.
And there's no doubt the public with the bisphenol A does the same thing, sodium fluoride. We had Dr. Blaylock on about it yesterday. Now the lithium, they admit, is to dumb us down and make us servile, a toxic metal. And they're moving ahead to do this and saying, we're going to give you shots that alter you. And we know they've already been doing it, lacing other vaccines. And you know, in the film, in the expanded extras of Endgame, you talk about and you read the U.S. government and university quotes where they talked about their master plan. Huxley, before he died in '62, he'd written Brave New World Revisited. That was nonfiction. and he said, all of this is what we're planning. This is what we're going to do. You're going to love your servitude. And so you wonder why the public can't get upset. And you wonder why cancer rates and infertility are off the charts. This has been done by design.
I believe it has been, too. I think there's no doubt, based on some of the things that I discussed on Endgame and other things, other writings and so forth that I've done, that they have these techniques of being able to calm down society and basically take our free will.
And, you know, God gives us free will, but I guess, God doesn't know what he's doing, or the universe doesn't know what's going on. It's up to these control freaks. They are going to take our free will, and that's what this does.
Yes, it does. In fact, some of that is in my new book, The Rescuing a Broken America.
Well, we're going to get into the book, but, you know, that's... Dr. Blaylock, of course, top brain surgeon, agreed with you, and he read the government's own quotes about brain damaging us yesterday, that they think they've won. Because they see how they can get away with almost anything now. And imagine if Hitler or Stalin or Mao, I mean, they did have fluoride, but imagine if they would have had these more high-tech systems. I mean, it's literally the end of our species if we don't reverse this.
Yes, it is. And, boy, I'm telling you, we're right at the very end now. You and I have talked about this on your program for, 5 or 6 years now at different times, that we're getting close. Well, we're at that point now.
Well, it's more than that. I've been interviewing you for 12 years, but, yeah, we've been...
Okay, it's been 12 years. It could very well be. Just my memory is getting shorter and shorter.
Oh, no, I mean, I've been on air 15 years, and let's talk about some of your successes, though, so people understand we can fight these people. Tell folks about how in the early 90s, mid-90s, you were able to get their documents on the Wilding Project and shoot down that UN treaty.
Yes, I was able to get both United Nations, federal, as well as behind-the-scenes NGO, non-governmental organization documents that said that the Wildlands Project was going to set aside one half of the United States and other countries as well, but into wilderness areas or interconnecting wilderness corridors. And it was able to make those links back into the United Nations Convention on Biological Diversity back in the early 1990s. When it came up for ratification in the U.S. Senate, I went down to the Senate, explained this to some of the key senators. They said, ho-hum, because I couldn't prove that that's what it was designed to do. And in August, we sent out a fax alert, which was the technology of the day, shut it down, collapsed the U.S. Senate phone line system, and they brought it back up again in September, and we did it again, and it was still going to the floor for ratification. And I was able to submit a map that I had drawn over the previous 2 years to the U.S. Senate. They put it into a 4-by-6-foot poster, took it out on the Senate floor at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. The vote was for 4 o'clock, and it was stopped dead in its tracks. It's still there, but nothing's been done on it since. And I use that as an example, not to elevate myself, but to show you how God can intervene and how he can use individuals to be able to thwart this agenda. And I think we're at that point right now in this whole effort to basically take over and get the last vestiges of the constitutional protections away from you and I in this next election. If we don't stop it in this next election, or stop it, at least slow it down, it's going to be too late.
Well, I want to go to another point. the Rockefellers over 100 years ago, they didn't like